Hello and welcome to God damn it, Blender Basics with Aster. I'm making this for one of my friends, but you get the gist. All right. So we're in Blender. You gotta remove. You gotta remove these. You drag over. Make sure they're selected. You right click. You delete them. You're always gonna do that. Now, normally, if you're not going to bother, if you're just using fixed models, you can just use this import model button. But I end up using the one over here. Now, you go to what you want to import. For reference, we will be using Flynn's. This surely is the one. Yes. Okay. And this is how I do stuff. So, blah blah blah. Unselect join meshes, unselect fixed materials, unselect combine same materials. Fix button. Boom, now you have colors, and then hit this white ball. And now normally what I do, make sure to hit the symmetry button up here, you select your arm. Boom. You make it T-pose. Apply. Rest pose. And I'll go deeper into bones later, but you get the gist. And now press the H button to hide it. Now you see the body. If all you want to do, let's say for instance we want to be able to toggle on his coat and crap in... Oh, the face is already... Okay. Face is already separated. Thank you, Link. Okay, yeah. If you're just doing face edit, you go into the face. You hit tab to go into edit. You press your 3 on your keyboard so that way it's all smooth. And then you hit L on the eye stuff. And then you right click and hit separate by selection. And you see you'll have the little eyes separated. And then you go out, you hit tab to exit that. And then you click on the face mesh. You go to where it says object mode up here. You click sculpt. You hit symmetry mode. Always make sure this is on, unless you like to torture yourself. You hit this flaccid little elastic deform ball over here, and you go ham wild with it. Like, for eye edits, boom, 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 ooh, ooh, oh yeah, boom. You can even make him look silly. You can make him look happy. Do whatever you want. That... How to sculpt, that is up to you. Boom. Oh yeah, and then whenever you're done, you're gonna click on wherever the hell your eye mesh went in the little hierarchy here. You're gonna hold shift. No, you're not shift. That's if you want to select everything. You're gonna hold control, and then you're gonna click on the face, and then you're gonna go to model options, and then you're gonna see this little button here that says join meshes. You're gonna hit selected, and then you're gonna double click this to rename it. And normally you just end up merging it to the body using the same method. But yeah, that's kind of it for just face stuff. Now if you want to do something like making it to where his little cape is toggleable, I do this. Yeah, none of his hair is on that layer. Boom, boom. This is to make it X-ray, so you can, see through it. You press tab to go into edit mode. Drag over this while holding shift. Same with here. Make sure you don't unhold shift while you're dragging stuff. You separate meshes, or not separate meshes, separate selection. Go out of edit mode. You're going to click the body. You're going to click what you just separated. You're going to put her together. Gonna undo that. It really just depends on how your materials and what all is connected to it, because Genshin Impact usually has their hair texture also connected to some of their other stuff. But yeah, you're gonna go into tab, edit. You're gonna go into the little X-ray again. Like if you want the skirt toggleable. Boom. Boom! Now you have the skirt toggleable. And then just rename it skirt. Oh yeah. So slay. And then you're gonna go back and do it again. It has most of it already. Okay, well, womp womp. And then you're gonna go back to, like, what doesn't have the rest of the stuff that the current cape does not have. You're just gonna kind of go buck wild, selecting stuff. Make sure that it's, like, connected. Make sure, like, just always make sure that it's what you want. And you can always Control Z to get rid of stuff. And then I press L. Just repetitively. And I move it around to make sure I'm not selecting the underbody. And if you're not me and you want to be more careful, because with Blender you can only Control Z about 12 times before it stops to your last to the most earliest mistake you have, at least 12 times. Don't press L a bunch of times. But at least in this stage, there's nothing you can mess up if you're just selecting. Alright. And then press H to hide it, to see if you got everything. And I do not have everything. I do not have his little collar thing. Control Z. Alright, where are you connected? You're gonna get real close and personal, and then you're gonna hit Control. Alright, you're not alright, just click it normally, hit Control, and then you're gonna do this basically the entire time, because having it do Control in short increments will get into annoying places that you don't want to be in for long. So this way. And then boom. Boom. And then you hide it and pray. Yeah, you got everything. And then hide that. And then boom. And then to unhide it, you hit the Alt button and then you hit H. Boom. Don't click anything. Right click. Separate. Selection. Whoa. And then you unhide the little dress, or what Avatar Maypole Flynn's dress, or whatever it is you're separating. You hold your Control button. You select it. And then what I'll just do is, at least in the scene, I'll just hold Shift. So that way it'll still select. Normally, whenever you hit, like, for instance, if you hit, like, you select this and you hit shift when you're trying to go to something else, it'll select the whole thing in between. Same thing with Unity, but usually whenever you're like in the scene part, you can just click on the mesh and then drag while you're holding shift, and it'll only get those two things. So you're going to take your little straps and you're going to take your little cape and you're going to hit selected. And you're going to call it whatever the fuck you want. Cape. And if you want this stuff to not be transparent, press L. You're going to do Shift D. You're going to click it once. And then you're going to go to Mesh. Normals. Flip. Now, be warned, this is not good for optimization. This will double at least this amount of vertices. But I don't care about optimization. But yeah, whenever you're all done, and you have all the stuff you want to toggle on and off, like boom, 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 do the same thing with the skirt. And if you want to like edit his body, for instance, not edit, or you want to sculpt it, you go into sculpt mode. This, the button, the holy button of symmetry. Boom, you do basically same concept as the face, honestly. If you want to make him bigger, just make sure to go also to do basically the same thing with the skirt. Just, you know, hide it, blah, blah, blah. I really don't care what you do. And then whenever you're ready to export it, for the sake of not having 30 million meshes, you're going to click whatever it is. You're going to click the body. You're going to click his hair. You're going to click the body. And you're going to click his face. And then boom, selected. And then you're going to rename it body because Unity is very specific when it comes to this stuff. And then you're going to hit export model. Usually not here because it's going to be like, optimize your stuff. I just use over here, export as FBX. And then I put it in whatever folder, blah, blah, blah. Rename it Flynn's. Like, for me, I'd call it like Aster's Flynn's. And then just put it in and then export. I'm not going to do it because I've already made one. I hope this was a very helpful tutorial.